to our series. We got Week 9 NFL predictions here, all the Sunday and Monday games. Before we get into it, Gerald, how about that World Series, huh?
That was an amazing game. And we were watching it too, man. It went into extra inning. But I think it's funny because you had Cleveland, blowing that 3-1 lead. And it's funny because in the basketball season, they won after being in a 1-3 deficit. So I think it's funny the tables turned on them. That released the city.
I just wish I could go back in time, put a bet on the Cubbies.
Yeah, I agree. But, I mean, congratulations to him breaking that long, century-old drought. Oh my gosh, I don't think there's anybody alive that remembers the last time they won. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, congratulations to him. I'm happy that Cleveland didn't win. I mean, they got their basketball NBA Finals in previous years, so yeah, they can chill out for a couple decades. The Browns aren't going anywhere.
Yeah. I got family that lives in Chicago too, so I know they're happy. I know they're excited. But you know what, Orioles, season's on its way. Pick it up. Let's get a World Series in Baltimore.
So, as far as our current standings for the predictions, Gerald, you're sitting at 48-42. I'm at 44-46. You still got a nice, comfortable lead on me there.
Yeah.
And we're getting into the second half of the season now. What's the first game we're talking about?
First game, we got the Detroit Lions take on the Minnesota Vikings. In Minnesota, I'm going to go with Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Minnesota, too. I mean, they did lose last week to the Bears, which surely was a shock to both of us, but I mean, what can you say? I mean, I don't see the teams running the ball that well in the Vikings every week, so I definitely don't see it this week.
Yeah. We got the Philadelphia Eagles next up, taking on the New York Giants in New York, and I'm going to give this game to the Philly.
Well, I'm actually going to take the Giants here. I mean, it could go either way. Both the teams' records are pretty similar. It's a divisional matchup, and whenever you're talking divisional matchups, it usually can go either way. I'll take the home team.
Next up, we got the Jets taking on the Dolphins. I'm gonna pick the Dolphins. They're in Miami, home field advantage.
Yeah, I'm going with the Dolphins here without a question. I mean, the Jets, they did win last week, but only by a couple points over the Browns. They still look a little shaky. The Dolphins have switched up their offense. They're going really run-heavy now with Jay Ajayi, who's had 200-plus yard rushing games back-to-back. I think he's going to continue that momentum, and the Dolphins can win here.
Next up, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City's going to get this.
I agree. Let's go to the next one.
We got the Cowboys, who are off to an amazing start, taking on Cleveland. Yeah, this is no question. Dallas.
Well, what's funny about this is that some people are starting to say, oh, is this going to be Dak Prescott's last start? And then they're going to start using Tony Romo, but
if they do, the Cowboys are the most stupidest team in the league if they start Tony over Dak.
Pretty much. But yeah, I'm going to go Cowboys here as well. Browns, sure, they came close last week to pulling that upset when I predicted it. Ultimately fell a little bit short, as they usually do. But yeah, they're not going to knock off the Cowboys.
Nah, not today. Next up, and a beautiful AFC North rivalry game. The Pittsburgh Steelers take on my Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. Now the Steelers, they may or may not have Ben Roethlisberger. We'll see how that plays. The Ravens had the bye week to see if they got some stuff together. I'm going to go with the Ravens at home.
I'm going to go with the Ravens as well. I'm predicting a 90-plus yard rushing performance out of Terrence West in this one. My boy from Towson.
Yeah.
And, as long as the Steelers don't have Ben Roethlisberger healthy, I mean, they're gonna struggle to win against the Ravens. So, I'm taking Ravens here.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait. It's one of my favorite games of the season. Next up, we have St. Louis taking on San Francisco. In San Francisco, we'll go with the Saints.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Saints as well here. 49ers don't have a good record, so I don't have a lot of faith in them.
Let alone a good team. Next up, we have the Carolina Panthers taking on your Rams. Who do you pick? I mean, Cam Newton. There's been a lot of controversy, and we could have an episode about Cam Newton and if his surprise are legitimate or not. We'll probably talk about it in the future. But in terms of team play, I think I'm going to give it to the Rams this weekend.
I'm going to go with the Rams as well. I mean, this is a game that could go to either team, but I mean, my Rams always seem to put up a better effort when they're playing at home, as actually a lot of teams do, frankly. But yeah, I think they'll make it tough for the Panthers and Cam Newton to get anything going.
Next up, Indianapolis takes on Green Bay. I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers.
I'm going to go with the Packers as well. The Colts are improving their record a little bit, it seems, but still, I say the Packers is a superior team and have the superior defense.
Next up, the Tennessee Titans take on the San Diego Chargers. And I'm going to say the Titans. I'm going to wait for this weekend.
I will go with the Chargers here. Chargers, they always seem to get in the habit of like making it a close game but not finishing. But I think they'll be able to finish off the Titans. I mean, they don't have an elite quarterback to contend with or anything like that. Yeah. It's really going to come down to, can San Diego's rush defense limit DeMarco Murray? That's the big question in this one.
Oh, it's going to be a good game. I think it could be. Next up, we have the Broncos taking on the Raiders. I'm going to say the Raiders. They're in Oakland this weekend. Yeah.
Well, let me go ahead and pick a team that's playing away here. I'm going to go with the Broncos. I like the Broncos defense. I like what they're able to do. Sure, the Raiders have done really well with Derek Carr and his receivers, but I can see the Broncos pulling this one out.
It's a good AFC West matchup here. Next up, we have the Bills taking on the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. I'm going to go with Seattle this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go with Seattle, don't you? I mean, even coming from a Rams fan, I mean, come on.
You're in Seattle.
you're in Seattle. It's the Bills. I mean, what's Rex Ryan going to do? Come on, let's be honest here.
We're going to see. It might be a surprise for you.
Well, that does it for this week's predictions. Tune in next week for more predictions and another Lit Sports Online episode. I'm Justin. This is Gerald.
And congratulations again to the Chicago Cubs on a World Series victory. And make sure to also check out our other content. We have lots of other videos on our channel. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. Have a great night.